Tonight on News 3 at 10, the Bishop of the Diocese of Madison is in the hospital. An update on his condition. And the end of an era of Badger football and music. The UW band community says farewell to Mike LeCrone.
This is News 3 at 10.
Good evening and thanks for watching News 3 at 10. I'm Amanda Quintana. Let's start with some breaking news. Bishop Robert Morlino of the Diocese of Madison is hospitalized tonight due to what's being called a cardiac event. According to a post from the Diocese of Madison's Facebook page, Bishop Morlino experienced heart issues during a scheduled doctor's appointment on Wednesday. His condition has since worsened, and his communications director, Brent King, says the community is praying for a miracle. An all-night prayer vigil is being held right now at Holy Name Heights on High Point Road. The vigil will end with Mass tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. The public is invited to attend. Madison police are looking for a missing 15-year-old girl. Binta Jama was reported missing on Tuesday after leaving West High School early. She hasn't been seen or heard from since. Anyone with information is asked to call the Madison Police Department. Madison police are investigating an alleged stabbing late last night. Officers say just before midnight last night, a 36-year-old man walked into the hospital with a stab wound. Police determined the man came from a large apartment building on the 200 block of South Park Street. A 22-year-old woman was found at the apartment with minor injuries. Police are still trying to figure out what happened. All right, let's turn it over to Dave Caulfield with a look at your First Alert forecast. Dave.
Well, Amanda, the snow's still pretty far away as our Panhandle Hook system continues to move through Nebraska, and some snow starting to show up in Iowa as well. Here's a current look at Doppler track. This system will continue to track closer to southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois over the next 12 hours or so and start to impact travel, especially for our neighbors to the south, right around tomorrow morning. Downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam looking at mostly cloudy skies this evening. Temperatures are still in the upper 30s for most of us across southern Wisconsin, some of us in the mid-30s. Wind speeds out of the north and west at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, making it feel a little bit closer to the freezing mark, and temperatures staying close to the freezing mark throughout much of Sunday. Few snowflakes possible in Madison, but it really does look like the bulk of any heavy snow activity will be south and east of Mad City. We'll talk about the highest snow totals and potential travel impacts in your First Alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Ahead of tomorrow's potential snow, a snow emergency is in effect for the city of Beloit. This means all cars must be removed from city streets from 11 a.m. tomorrow morning to 11 a.m. Monday morning. If you're wondering where to park during that time, there's a list of parking areas on the City of Beloit's website. As always, if your plans depend on the weather, make sure to get our Channel 3000 First Alert weather and traffic app. You'll find updated and accurate information. The Wisconsin football team loses to Minnesota for the first time since 2003, and the Gophers took Paul Bunyan's axe back across the state line. Jay Wilson has more from Camp Randall.
Despite the look of the final score, there was a time in this game that the Badgers looked like they were going to get back in it and get some momentum. Jake Ferguson got a touchdown pass from Alex Hornibrook just before halftime, and you thought, well, maybe, but it never happened. Minnesota took advantage of 4 Wisconsin turnovers, and the Badgers seemed lifeless and just never got anything going. Final score, Minnesota 37, Wisconsin 15. The Badgers finished the regular season with a 7-5 record. You can imagine it wasn't a bunch of happy campers in the post-game interviews, and we'll bring you some of those later in sports. For now at Camp Randall Stadium, Jay Wilson, News 3 Sports.
The regular season finale is the last for a Badger icon. Longtime UW band director Mike LeCrone will be retiring at the end of the school year. Adam Duxter is at Camp Randall, where he captured LeCrone's final home football game. Adam.
Well, Amanda, emotional is definitely the word to describe Mike LeCrone's final home game here at Camp Randall, but make no mistake about it, the Badger legend went out in style.
Well, I'd like to say it was business as usual, and that's what I asked the band that we do, but I don't think it has been.
For Mike LeCrone, the final season down to the final game.
That's very difficult for me to put into words how emotional I'm going to feel.
To cap off a career that spanned 5 decades.
I don't ever think I stopped and thought, how much longer am I going to do this? I think it just it just kept happening, and I just kept enjoying the opportunities. And I would never have foreseen that I would have been here this long. I never got bored with the job. I've never been bored one day. And I don't know, I think I've been very fortunate, very lucky to be able to say that about a 50-year career, that it's always been that next thing that I was looking forward to.
The Badger Band director has worked with thousands of students, but today it was his turn to be honored with standing ovations and a custom jersey. The feeling, bittersweet.
You get that exhilaration, but I can sense in the background that the time is coming up fast, and I know that it's going to be a very difficult time for me to say goodbye, because that's what it amounts to.
And when the game was done, one last bit quarter and one last time to play varsity.
I hope I can hold it together. That's literally the truth, because I know that as we've approached this, there have been various moments that I've really felt just the emotion of it.
Now, today's not the final day of Mike Lecrone's career. He still has a bowl game, then hockey season, basketball season, and of course the spring concert. But one last time at Camp Randall, definitely an emotional scene for the longtime Wisconsin Badgers band director.
Thank you, Adam. The last game of the regular season was a busy one for University Police. A total of 25 citations were issued during this afternoon's game. 24 people were arrested, while 61 people were ejected. That includes 15 UW students. 15 underage alcohol tickets were given out, and 7 people were taken to a detox center. New tonight in national news, under a new proposal, thousands of migrants seeking asylum in the United States will have to stay in Mexico while their cases are processed in U.S. courts. Wei Zhang has more on this from the president's winter White House in Florida.
CBS News has learned Mexico's incoming government has discussed plans with the Trump administration to have Mexico essentially serve as a waiting room for migrants seeking asylum in the U.S.
And we're not letting people in. It's called catch and detain. It's not called catch and release like it has been for many years.
President Trump has long criticized what he calls catch and release, current asylum rules that allow people seeking refuge to wait on American soil. According to the Washington Post, officials are still working out details of the proposed deal named Remain in Mexico, but some Mexican officials will likely fight the agreement. Just this week, the mayor of Tijuana declared we are in a humanitarian crisis as some 5,000 migrants, part of a caravan, arrived to his city.
They're going crazy to get them out. They want them out. Because things are happening, bad things are happening in Tijuana. And again, it's not in this country because we've closed it up.
The president has threatened to shut down the border if chaos unfolds when they reach the U.S. and has authorized troops to use lethal force to control the crowds. Mexico's new president will be sworn in on December 1st, and this asylum plan would be implemented under his leadership. The White House is not confirming or denying a deal is in the works, but said President Trump has developed a strong relationship with the incoming administration. Wei Zhang, CBS News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
Next up on News 3 at 10, after a busy Black Friday, customers are supporting their neighbors today, celebrating another shopping holiday. We'll hear from some local business owners who participated in Small Business Saturday. Welcome back. Businesses on Monroe Street are celebrating a clear road after 9 months of construction. Cars and shoppers return to the street as part of Small Business Saturday, an annual national event promoting shopping locally. Along with the holiday, Pan Schwarzbach is celebrating her outdoor lifestyle boutique, Hive's 1-year anniversary. Since Monroe Street was under construction, the majority of the time her business has been open. She says things can only go up from here. Other businesses are happy to be clear of construction as well, including Strictly Discs next door to Hive's. The music store's owner says their loyal customers helped get them through the year. Small Business Saturday is making an impact elsewhere in Madison, including an innovative storefront on Milwaukee Avenue. Communication is a 7-month-old nonprofit. It's an art space and a music venue for people of all ages, something that's pretty unique. Its owners say it's a sober space intended to be welcoming to all, including kids. They sell merchandise from local artists and say today's sales can make a big difference.
We focus on artists that don't have other storefront opportunities, right? Artists who are small, who can't necessarily afford to have their own storefront space or be in a larger business, that it's an affordable way for artists to get that face time with people they wouldn't necessarily know.
The store also featured a pop-up record sale. People in Sun Prairie are feeling the holiday spirit today. Community members brought their families to the Cross House for free photos with Santa. Kids brought him letters and sat on his lap for pictures. Just a couple days after Thanksgiving, people are ready for Christmas celebrations. According to Santa, he's happy to see those smiling faces.
Pretty busy and pretty steady with kids, and I've been going from the ones that are definitely scared of Santa Claus to the ones that are going to run up and give me a hug. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great day.
Santa was telling the kids today that with only a month until Christmas, they had better stay on his nice list. As the holiday season gets underway, craft and art fairs have been popping up across Madison. Today at the VFW post number 7591, the Women's Auxiliary held a craft fair for a good cause. There were 54 vendors, a raffle and bake sale. Proceeds go to assisting the VFW in funding veterans benefits. According to organizers, year-round, it's important to remember the contributions of our veterans.
A lot of them are unable to take care of themselves, or at some point feel like they're not worthy or need help in some way and don't want to ask for it. So we need to be here to push them a little bit.
This was the 31st annual craft fair that the Post has organized. All right, let's check in with Dave Caulfield. I know tomorrow is what everyone's looking at forecast-wise.
Yeah, exactly. With the snow, it's a really tight cutoff between seeing just a couple of snowflakes and seeing a whole lot more than that. We do have the alert day still in the forecast for tomorrow and tomorrow night, mainly for accumulating snow, and it will be mostly across southeastern Wisconsin, closer to Rock and Greene counties, Jefferson County as well, and into the Milwaukee area. Winter weather bulletins, we could see winter storm warnings in the pink for much of northern Illinois and for some portions of far southeastern Wisconsin. Also have some winter weather advisories. A blizzard warning in effect. You can see that in the orange for our friends across southern Iowa. So into Iowa, into Illinois tomorrow, if you're traveling that way, you need to give yourself plenty of extra time. Pay very close attention to the weather because travel could be really dicey at times on Sunday. Doppler track is still pretty quiet across much of our region, but as we zoom out, we could see that storm on the way with some snowflakes making their way through Omaha into western Iowa. Downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam, looking at mostly cloudy skies right now. And I don't think we'll need to worry about any snowflakes falling across southern Wisconsin for the next 12 hours or so. Today's high of 44, normal is 39, so a little bit above normal today, but those temperatures are really going to dive after this system comes through, and that is across southern Wisconsin as well as northern Illinois. Temperatures right now in the upper 30s in Madison and in Janesville, 37 in Monroe and Mineral Point, 38 in Lone Rock. With the wind chill, though, it does feel like the upper 20s in the Dells, the mid 30s in Madison, and 30 degrees even in Platteville. So It's another busy travel day coming up on Sunday. Everyone heading home from the Thanksgiving holiday festivities, and this is not what we want to see, especially across portions of our area. We're noticing those travel delays starting to maximize on Sunday, especially during the afternoon when that snow is falling. Traveling south and even southwest into portions of Iowa will be very, very challenging. You need to give yourself plenty of extra time because this snow will mean business. And then after that snow comes in, the wind will be a major factor. Very gusty winds. We typically see this with panhandle hook systems after they come through. The wind really maximizing about 30 miles per hour at times tomorrow. For tonight, that wind not too bad, mostly cloudy, a little colder. Temperatures in the 30s. We stay in the 30s with that snow developing tomorrow. Let's take a look on future track to see what we can expect. So by the time we get to the middle of Sunday morning, that snow starting to get closer and closer to the state line. And look at how sharp that cutoff is. Madison, it wouldn't surprise me if really nothing fell across Mad City, but then as we head to the south and east, everything could be falling at times for spots like Monroe, Janesville, into Waukesha. So by the time, we get to Monday, we'll be done with this snow. You can see how sharp that cutoff is, and really it just depends on a couple of miles whether or not you'll see any snowfall or a whole lot of it. About 6 to 8 inches is possible in some spots across northern Illinois. Your 7 to 10 day forecast, quiet to start next week, but our model trends have been going up. A couple of models over the last few hours showing those totals increasing for the spots that will get the snow. So pay close attention tomorrow.
All right, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Thank you, Dave. Still ahead, we hear from Paul Christ and the Badgers on what went wrong in today's Axe game. Sports is next.
Well, Paul Bunyan's axe had a good run in Madison, 5,495 days to be exact. The streak for the Badgers coming to an end tonight at the hands of a very hungry Gophers squad under second-year head coach P.J. Fleck. And they took advantage of every single Wisconsin mistake. To the highlights now, second quarter action, 4th and 1. The Gophers go for it. They were perfect on 4th down conversions today. Mohamed Ibrahim with the 10-yard run for the score, 10-0 Minnesota. 1:05 left in the half. Badgers punting it away, and Demetrius Douglas with the catch at the 31-yard line. Then decides to run for his life there, gets through a few big holes, finds himself in the end zone. 69 yards later, 17-0 Golden Gophers. Wisconsin with a shot now before heading to the locker rooms. Alex Hornibrook making his first start since November 3rd against Rutgers. A beauty there to Jake Ferguson. 17-7 Wisconsin down at the half. We fast forward to the fourth quarter now, and things got real ugly for Wisconsin. Hornibrook tries to run for it, getting tackled, losing the ball, and recovered by, of course, Minnesota. Ensuing drive, Bryce Williams here takes it to that left corner again. Worked pretty well for the Gophers today for the 23-yard touchdown, 30-7 Minnesota. And the Badgers will get one more back. Hornibrook to Danny Davis, but too many mistakes for Wisconsin today, giving Minnesota the axe for the first time since 2003. It's the first time Minnesota has won at Camp Randall since 1994. Jay Wilson wraps up our regular season coverage from Camp Randall.
If you're a reporter reporting on the hometown team, you kind of want to say good things as often as you can. Today, there's no sugarcoating it. This was a grade A, #1 first-class stinker for the Badgers.
I don't think any kid goes out and wants to drop the ball. I think as a coach, you've got to own it. And, we've got to do a better job of coaching and making sure the kids understand it. Playing in this league, you're going to play good teams. That's tough to beat. And then when you have to also beat yourself, that's that much. And if you got to be a great team to overcome both those. And we're not right now.
I think we all felt good in the preparation going into this game. I think it just came down to executing, and there are some things that I could do better, and I think this whole team, we just needed to execute better than we do today.
I had to make more plays and then can't turn the ball over that many times. We had it. We were driving, and I thought everything was clicking well. Just some stuff where we hurt ourselves, and then can't turn the ball over, and then you have to make plays to win football games against teams that are playing well, and we just didn't make enough.
So after a 7-5 regular season, the Badgers are still going to a bowl game, and the hope is always to go somewhere really warm. Well, after today's performance, chances are the temperature went down a little bit for that bowl game. At Camp Randall Stadium, Jay Wilson, News 3 Sports.
Now, Hornibrook not having the best return to the field, 189 yards and 2 touchdowns, but also, big one there, those 3 interceptions. Jonathan Taylor picking up 120 yards on the ground game today, just 11 yards short of 2,000 for the season. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, this one was highly anticipated. Ohio State and Michigan, Buckeyes up by 2 at the half, but coming up big in the third quarter. Chris Olave there blocking the punt. And then Seven Banks scooping it up for the score, takes it the other way, 33 yards, Ohio State up 34-19. Later, Mike Weber, the pitch there to his right for the 2-yard touchdown. Ohio State securing a spot in the Big Ten championship next week against Northwestern, 62-39 the final score. Other scores in conference play today, Penn State defense holding Maryland to a field goal, and Northwestern beats Illinois. And a close one at Indiana, Purdue surviving a scare there. Jeff Brum's Boilermakers are now bowl eligible. Another streak continuing in the state of Wisconsin. UW-Whitewater working its way through the NCAA Division III playoffs in round 2 today against St. Norbert. Now the Warhawks aiming for their 12th trip to the quarterfinals in the last 14 years. Whitewater already up big here we pick it up in the fourth quarter. Cole Wilbur airing it out to Derek Kumaro for the 18-yard touchdown. Warhawks up 41-21. And yes, Derek is the younger brother of current Packers receiver Jake Kumaro. St. Norbert trying to get something going here late, but picked off by my favorite name in the world, Famous Hasty. The 5th-ranked Warhawks win big, 54-21 the final. They are now 12-0 on the season, and they'll face Bethel University of Minnesota next Saturday in the quarterfinals. Some Packers news here. They're making some moves ahead of tomorrow night's game against the Vikings. Linebacker Nick Perry, who was originally listed as out yesterday, he has now been moved to injured reserve. Green Bay signing defensive lineman James Looney from the practice squad in his place. Meanwhile, the Badgers men's hockey team getting some revenge on Michigan today, winning tonight tonight's game in a shootout. Meanwhile, the women's team currently in overtime against Harvard after a 1-1 tie at the end of regulation. And finally tonight, the Wisconsin volleyball team in a tight one against 7th-ranked Penn State for the regular season finale. This one going to a 5th set. Tiffany Clark serving for match point. That one there is out. So Badgers win the 5th and deciding set 21-19. They win the match 3 sets to 2. 6 straight wins. Madison Duello leading the team tonight in kills with 24 of them. We'll be right back.
Believing in themselves.
All right, so it looks like south of us is what's going to get hit more.
Yeah, south and east of Madison, closer to the Illinois state line. Those are the areas that need to watch out for that system. Still well off to the west, but tomorrow some snowflakes are possible. Temperatures really staying in the 30s. I wanted to give us plenty of time to look at our snow total map. So really looking at about a trace to an inch in Madison, a little bit farther to the south and east. That number goes up to 1 to 3. And then look at just how sharp that gradient is, going from basically a trace of snow to about 6 to 8 inches of snow. Spots like Kenosha could get a fair amount of snow. Janesville could get a fair amount of snow. Monroe as well. So we'll really have to watch that into tomorrow. A lot of things can go wrong in the system.
And it's all about those people traveling.
Yes, be safe.
All right, thank you so much, and thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.